Hi guys, this is Bloodstainedfur,
And this is Saberclawproductions.
and we're here today to talk about voice acting, or our experiences in voice acting on YouTube for the past 3, 4, 5 years, give or take.
Yeah.
Just kind of reflecting, looking back, looking on roles that we've done, things that we've liked, or things that we could do better on. Just kind of like just an overview on what we've done and what we like so much about voice acting, or what's brought us this far. I mean, obviously, Mr. Saber, you've done a lot more than voice acting. You've done editing, you've done music production, working on 2 series of your own. So obviously, you're not limited to the talents of voice acting on here. You've done a lot.
Yeah, I have. It was. It's very interesting. I like to broaden my horizons and try to do a little bit of everything. I know I'm not capable of doing everything. I sure would like to draw. So if there's anybody out there who wants to apprentice me in drawing, feel free to contact me.
We will pay you. I will pay you, because that's the only mountain he's yet to conquer yet. Yes, and he will. He will one day. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next year, but it will happen eventually. I promise that. No, don't laugh. It's true.
The last day. Last day of my life. I've learned how to draw.
I never said when. I said it's going to happen. That's what's important. But going back in your voice acting career on YouTube, do you remember some of your earlier roles?
Well, the very first role I ever had, which is the Zaragan Guard, was Condell. And I thank you, Era the Guardian, for giving me the chance to do that. Because
back then she was Zelda fan.
Yeah,
that
Zelda
was her
fan.
original
That's
account
right.
back in the day.
Yeah, and that was my first one, and that's really what got me started. I mean, I have done auditions before, but never really got the part, and Era the Guardian gave me that chance, so and that really kind of launched me. That gave me the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Opportunity.
The courage to continue, because it was like, oh wow, somebody actually liked my voice, that was and then I just started doing more auditions, and surprisingly, I started getting more and more parts. And
you originally, now going back in time a few years in our little time machine, you're obviously very well known for being Saberclawproductions right now, but originally you had another account, Darkstar.
Yeah, Darkstar KC.
Yes. And on that account, you were primarily known not for doing your animations or your voice acting. That was more of like an editing channel of yours, because you edited a lot of old TV shows. I believe classic cult favorite Space 1999. You did like a lot of adding together of that work, and you like edited like trailers. Because you were always very good at that. That was like your first passion on here when you got on YouTube, before you even started with the voice acting.
Yeah, well, see, I got into this little group. It was kind of like a Space 1999 fan club, and I met a lot of awesome voice actors there. Cinemanaut and Rhonda, and there was a bunch of them, and my brother and I, we came up with this idea, because he was into Space 1999 as well. He came up with this idea to actually try to continue the series in an audio format, and I have always loved audiobooks. I mean, I used to sit there and listen to, we're going to go way, way, way back. That's before my time, so please, I'm not that old. Is a show called X-1, and that was the, original audio shows back when TVs didn't exist. It was just radio. So, I mean... That's
right, folks. Imagine it's a world without television. Frightening, isn't it?
I'm not that old, no. Yeah, I mean, and that, listening to stuff like that really piqued my interest in doing something like that. And I always wanted to try my hand at it. So, actually, the very first audio play I ever did was Space 1999 Launch of a Legend, written by my brother, edited by me, and we just got a whole bunch of Space 1999 fans. There was a slew of them, and sent out the lines, and they sent them back, and I just sat down at the computer for the next 3 months and cobbled it all together with sound effects and music and voice acting, and it turned out to be a really, really good story, and the success of that, I mean, not for everybody, because obviously you have to kind of be in that Space 1990, you have to kind of like the show to understand what's going on, but having the success of that made me want to try something different. So, I came up with a series called The Portal, and that was more or less kind of like Twilight Zone-y,
right? Like an audio version of that,
right. And I got writing stories. My brother wrote one. A good friend of mine, Jeff Mullen, he wrote one. Go check his page out. He's awesome. Good writer, and
he voice acts in a lot of your
absolutely
projects too.
Yeah, he's sensational. He really is.
That came a little bit later when you started, because I remember Portal. That was when you created your Saberclawproductions account, I believe, and that was in, I want to say 2010, 2011, because I remember your Dark Star account unfortunately got deleted due to, what was it, copyright claims or something?
Yeah, it was around the time where YouTube was really cracking down on using other people's music, which is actually kind of funny, because that actually really got me into making my own music when they had closed my account down due to, I mean, I used to do trailers. I love to do trailers, but at that time you didn't have any music, especially anything not as cool as, Two Steps from Hell or anything like that. Those guys are like awesome. Like, we're not worthy. So yeah, it's and after that, it's like, oh wow, I'm never going to be able to put anything up because I can't. Everything I put up, and I'm sure that goes the same for everybody. On YouTube, they can't pay, they spend so much time. Putting the thing together, only did, a flip of a coin, to pull it up on YouTube, and it doesn't go up, or in 10 seconds it comes back down again. So, and then you get a strike, and then everybody knows what happens then. So
3 strikes, you're out. That's.
So that really got me into doing music, and I've never looked back since.
And you started that, so when you created Saberclaw Productions. I believe that was in 2011. It was your original idea. Now, how did the whole conception, the whole idea for your series, Saberclaw, how did that come about? I remember you were saying that you originally wanted it to be an idea that you wanted all of these animators and voice actors to kind of come together as like one big family and just kind of work together on projects. But your idea for the series, how did that come about?
Well, watching, Droid 23 and As You Howl and Era the Guardian and Tribble of Doom and all those animators, just fascinated me how, and I still am like totally fascinated how these people could sit down and come up with an animation, because I can't draw at all, so I'm just like, oh wow, and that I am a big fan of just regular films, and back way when in the 70s and the 80s, they used to make these films that had these all-star casts.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And it was, it was a big thing, and I was kind of had I always wanted to, I'm so enthralled with everybody else's series, and I can't draw whatsoever, so I wanted to, do something. I mean, I had an idea. I like writing, and I like, editing and putting all that stuff together, so what I wanted to do was see if I could get all these animators to get, the stars of YouTube, get them all together in one spot and make this like super creation, of course I've added my little thing, which was a complete failure. But you know, because
more a matter of opinion.
Yeah, I guess. But my that was my contribution because that's all I could do at the time. You know, I can't animate, so but but it was a different idea. I know some people like it, some people don't, but it was a different idea. And anybody who knows me, I don't want to go for the norm. I want to do something completely different.
I think you've succeeded above and beyond your expectations for that.
So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to gather all these people. You know, if you would go to see like a Pixar film or something like that. I mean, although not everybody knows who these animators are, sadly, because they're behind the scenes, but in their own little world, they are incredible animators, you know, that, you know, I don't know, you don't know, maybe probably half the people on YouTube don't know, but they're stars in their own rights. You know, and there's a whole lot of them doing it. And, you know, Pixar picks and chooses, you know, hey, you know, work for us. And they all get together and they make this incredible film. Well, I wanted to do that on a amateur level, you know.
So Saberclawproductions was essentially your Pixar, on a smaller scale, you bring together the ingenious animated and storytelling and acting minds of our community. And
absolutely, yeah. And that's what it was. And
it still is too. It still can be. No, it's not dead and buried. Okay, it's still hanging on. Maybe a little bit on a respirator right now, but it's hanging in there. It can still make a comeback. But in the meantime, obviously, you have.
I'm accepting applications now for animators.
That's right. Product placement, very good. But in the meantime, outside of your work in the series department, you've continue to amaze and dazzle people with your new music composures that you've been bringing out for about the last 2 years now. And, you know, a lot of animators have been able to use your work, and I love hearing it all over the place because it has such a unique style to it. And on top of that, which obviously your voice acting now is really taken off. I know you haven't. I've had to point it out to you just how many series that you've appeared in over the last 2 or 3 years, and I think it kind of surprised you looking back on it. Just like, hey, you're in a lot of things. Obviously, starting off with Zaragangar with Condell, the main villain. What's here, little Condell? Just give us a little sample, please. So remind everybody just how cool and intimidating he is.
Really? Condell?
Yes.
He is that cool?
I'm going to have
possibly, obviously intimidating. What was that?
Hey, see, folks, I hope everybody else is getting goosebumps right now, because I know I am.
Oh, my God.
After that, you came back on a lot of your voice acting. Now, you were saying earlier that that just was kind of like, that was your first, or one of your first projects that you auditioned for, and that kind of getting the role there and getting the positive feedback for it kind of gave you the courage and the enthusiasm to audition for more things. Did you ever see yourself as becoming like the voice actor that you now are now? I know you don't think very highly of your acting or your music for that matter, but I'm saying everybody else has a completely opposing opinion on that. So it's just, you have become one of the big names now, I think, in our community with that.
Well, you know,
voice acting.
It's funny you see that, because, you know, like you said, I don't see myself as doing that. You know, I really enjoy doing it, and, you know, I every time somebody offers me a part, you know, I really get thrilled about doing it and seeing, you know. Seeing the final product, you know, I mean, I can do it. I can do voice acting, but I don't know how that's going to be in the final project. And to see myself in character form, you know, it just sends thrills, you know, up and down my spine.
Hearing your voice coming out of a wolf or some kind of animal character. It's always 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some kind of animal character. I know there was a very popular on YouTube. But yeah, it's a very surreal but really cool feeling. Especially when it's like, wow, it really matches the character.
Yeah, and something that always fascinated me was, and then even in my my audio books and even in all the shows that all these amazing animators do, is the fact that all these actors, they're all spread across the country. You know, Europe, you know, the United States, Canada, and stuff like that. But when they put it all together, you could almost swear they're all in the same room playing off each other, you know,
Exactly.
and it's not happening. And then, you know, sometimes all you get is just your lines, and it's actually easier, you know, if you want a tip, you know, anybody who's listening wants a tip to help the voice actors and help your show do a little bit better, is to send them the entire script, or at least send them the scene that they're playing in with another character, because to read what the other person's lines is and then to read your own, it gives them a better sense of how it's supposed to be. Absolutely. I mean, if you just send specific lines only for that character, he has nothing, they have nothing to play against, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, you know, they could be, you know, playing it a different way how you didn't want it, you know? So, yeah.
Tip for the day.
Yeah, and I know what you mean with the whole voice acting community and the animation community. You know, I think in the past year or two, I have gotten so close to so many wonderful people on here through YouTube, and then talking with them on Skype, and getting really close to a lot of them. You know, a lot of my best friends are people that I haven't actually really met face to face, but I just have so much to, you know, relate to with them, and it's just incredible the amount of passion that they all put into it, and it's just. It's, you know, even if it's nothing more than just like a hobby or something, you know, recreational activity, it's still, I don't know, and I'm sure I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I don't know where I would be in my life sometimes outside of working and such, where I'd be without that as a part of my life, because it brings it that extra little kick, that extra little meaning to your life that makes you really feel good about yourself, especially when you have everybody, you know, supporting each other and being such great friends. It's such an unbelievable magic feeling, you know, and it's something that I look forward to being a part of for years and years to come. I don't have no intention on stopping, as I'm sure you don't either. It's just it's too connected to our lives now, where we could kind of separate ourselves from it, whether we like it or not. Sometimes
it's a big thrill for me. It really is. I mean, to you know, I know I'm kind of limited in what I do. I would like to try to expand on the characters I do.
Well, you have, I think. You think you just do. Talk about that. I mean, obviously, you have done some notorious villains, as we talked with Condell, but you're also very well known for appearing in Drake 23's series Wolf's Destiny as Winterstorm,
right.
One of the main hero characters. So, I mean, there you have him. What were your thoughts looking back on that character? Come on, we're going through the history here.
Go through the history.
Well, more or less, some of your
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, it's I always think a villain to be, at least from what I've seen or what I really enjoy doing, is a villain is
Has even got the raspy voice.
or, you know, the kind of more elite kind of actor.
It's I would like to kill you now, but we'll give it a bit of time. Not today or tomorrow, but maybe you'll come to your senses and tell me what I want to know.
You know, something like that. You know, one of my oh Jesus, his name is flown right out of my head.
I'll go catch him then.
I know, really.
Help me out here. Maybe I can help.
Help me out!
What am I looking for?
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, of course.
Tim Curry,
oh, he's astounding with his.
It's just, yes. You know, I love the way he plays all his characters. He's so sinister, but he's so, you know, comical in the way he does it. You know,
he's really, you know, because he can go great from being more comedic, like in roles like Clue, and then being really, like you said, demonic and sinister with like Legend and It. And his range. He's done like in the 90s and in the 2000s. Tim Curry's voice work was just all over the place. He had just done so much for, kids animations and stuff. He just, like, in every one, like, I think in most shows, kids shows in the 90s, you're bound to hear Tim Curry's voice pop up and say, wow, this guy really got around, So yeah, he's definitely a big inspiration in that way.
Yeah, but that's how I play my villains. My other characters, I either try to use my own voice, to bring it down a little bit, or something like that, and that's basically what I tried to do with Winter Storm,
And the same thing with like your character in like Thunder Catherine's Wolf Song.
Yeah.
You were one of the main characters in there. You were the father character here, and obviously that was more of a kind of a kinder, more tender role, where it was like he was tough, but he was still very compassionate and caring, and he was more of a hero character.
And and when I do that, I just almost use my own voice, but just give it a bit more depth,
A lot of times, yeah, you don't have to necessarily think of the craziest voice imaginable for your character to work. Sometimes using your natural voice or just a slight variation on your natural voice, it works for the character very well. It's harder because as voice acting, you always want to alter your voice for any character, but sometimes you don't have to give it.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. A lot of the times, that's the problem because in a lot of the series that I am in, I have done a lot of different kinds of voices, and then when they come back and say, hey, there's another episode, it's like, what did I do for that character?
You have to go back and look again. How do they sound?
It's like, well, he didn't sound like that in the last episode. What's wrong with him? So, I mean, just to have it, to do something very simple, but it's not as much fun because it's just the same voice over and over and over and over and over again. I know what I did. I mean, I can recreate the voices that I do, one of I'm really looking forward to when Friendship comes out.
From 23's new series,
because I completely did something completely different.
So watch it.
No, so yeah, it's when that comes out, it's gonna be completely different, and people are gonna go, "Wow, that's you? I didn't know."
and that's really good. Yeah, when you can push the boundaries and say, "I'm gonna try something completely outside my comfort zone for what you're used to doing." Yeah, absolutely. The newest and biggest animation series that you're now a part of too, which has really gotten popular this past year, is Blixme's The Missing Light.
Oh yeah, Blixme.
We love you, Blixme.
Just an unbelievable series.
That is such a fun character to play for me.
You're Sleet.
I am Sleet. Yes, that is such a fun.
He gets to wear armor on his head. How cool is that?
That is cool. That is cool. But that's going back to my elite kind of character, very, very, very ritzy and certainly a lot of fun to play,
Kind of not necessarily a character that is diabolical and evil, but definitely is kind of little cunning and they seem kind of devious. You're not really sure what their true intentions are, and they're meant to give off that kind of intimidating feel.
Intimidating yet friendly.
Mm-hmm. But it's almost kind of like a fake friendly.
It's a fake friendly, exactly. It's a fake friendly, yes. It's like, don't get me mad.
you wouldn't like him when he's mad. So I mean, yeah, and that's it's great to have that kind of a range there. Looking ahead at the future, with voice acting, is there like a kind of like a role that you haven't tried yet, or one that you have tried, or something that you would like to take up next, or that would be like a real fun challenge for you, or?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's
like a role that you're looking for, going, yes, that's the kind of character I want to play.
Well, I don't know. I'd always, there's lots of voices inside me that I that didn't come out right.
That's why we're doing this interview in straitjackets, in a padded room, because we hear voices.
There's a lot of voice ideas that I have in my head that I've never really done, because everybody kind of likes the stuff I do, and a lot of, you know, when I get requests, it's like, oh, can you do that voice that you did for Conduct?
Oh,
can
yeah.
you do that voice? And it's like, okay, and then you think you're like, oh geez, I'm like super stereotyping myself.
And how fun is that to be, you know, a voice actor on YouTube and you're stereotyped, you know, you're typecast. That's the funniest thing, I swear.
You know, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing it. I really do enjoy doing it, but you know, I'd like to try something different. And sometimes when you do that, you don't know how well it's going to go off. You know, it's going to be like, no, you know. I always like doing accents, you know, and pretty soon, and my good buddy Drew here and he's convinced me that we're going to do a fan dub, and you're going to see how Canadian I can really be.
Oh yeah, there, he's gonna do.
Don't you know? It's that there. It's gonna be what you're looking at.
It's gonna be a surprise. So just, you know, stand by there.
Yeah,
that's all we're gonna say. No spoiling.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's how I kind of like to, you know, broaden your horizons, is by, you know, doing fan dubbing, because then you could kind of choose what kind of characters you want to play. You go, oh, I like the way that character sounds. I want to do a dub off of that. And then try to, you know, I had the hardest time breaking out of my boundaries, because I was like you, very much typecast as playing the villain roles, which again I love doing, but it's not the only kind of role that I wanted to do. And that was what kind of got me into wanting to do fan dubs, just to kind of broaden my horizons and try not just doing the deep and sinister kind of voices, but doing more playful, more dramatic, heroic, those kind of voices as well. And you figure, you know, you get a good range of doing that when you do fan dubbing, because you get to choose what roles you want to do, and it gives you the opportunity to work with other, you know, great voice actors and kind of getting to know them better as well. So I love doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd like to, you know, you were talking before about a role that I'd really like to play, and I think something crazy, you know, just something like really, really wacko out. Certainly, you know, like something Inway Telmanar did.
Oh, she's the master at doing that.
Yeah, the crazy voice.
Yeah, we do the villain stuff. She does the crazy stuff. That's just her calling.
Trace, we are not worthy. Trace is
Trace,
excellent.
and now in The Missing Light, she's also doing the role Essie, who's also just that kind of very fun and playful, but a little nutty kind of persona, and she just plays that off so perfectly.
Oh, she does. She's phenomenal.
But yeah, that is always a fun kind of character to play. The character that's kind of unpredictable with what they're going to do or say, but they're still kind of fun too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'd like to try something like that.
I think we would all love to hear that too.
Oh,
I have to work on that.
It's coming. It's coming, folks.
It's coming.
Anybody has roles out there for crazy people? I'm your man.
They're gonna be coming in by the truckload
no,
now. Yeah.
No.
But looking back, is there any like roles or anything you would have done differently with any of your characters that you've done, or any of your any roles that you wish, like, oh, I really, looking at some of the animation series or stuff that you were part of, or ones that you weren't a part of, and going, I wish I would have auditioned for that, or I wish I would have been in this, or maybe I didn't play this character role, or just
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy with what I've done for the roles. You know, that pretty much comes inside or from inside me. And you know, I like playing those characters. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be in the shows. You know, it's I wouldn't say I'd do anything different. If I do anything different, it would have been my editing. I think I would have done that. You know, there's a lot of times I look at or even in some of my songs, I know I've worked one of them over again. You know, but you know. And it's funny when you sit there and you see it for the first time. It's like, and I don't know, because you've done it, you know, and you spent like weeks and weeks on it, and you, it's almost like you're just tired of doing it, and then I'm just gonna put it out there like it is. I mean, a lot of times, whenever I make a song, I used to just make a song, do it, and put it on YouTube, and then after I listened to it like 200 more times, it's like, oh, I should have done that different, But now I don't do that. I kind of make the song and I will listen to it 200 times because there's always something that it's like I want to change, or this isn't loud enough, or and it's the same thing with my editing, and so yeah, I mean that would be probably something more I'd like to change. I have done stuff that I have, I don't even listen to it myself anymore because I'm so embarrassed. It's like music or some of my editing for sure. God. But yeah, I mean, and I think what really helped me was the fact that some of my friends asked my help to edit their shows, which is just a big thrill for me. And to see it all come together, to get the sneak peek of everything. But to put it together with music and sound effects, that is really my passion, to create something from nothing and have it, just have the chance to work in production. It's just, it's fascinating to me.
Absolutely, yeah. I will say my biggest regret being a voice actor on YouTube for this long is not auditioning for Saberclaw when I got the chance to. I remember when you first... And the thing is when Saberclawproductions came about, I didn't realize that it was you. Like, it was Darkstar, because I had known Darkstar, your Darkstar account. I thought this was some, like, elite organization that just came out of nowhere. It's like, hey, we're doing a big, animation series now. And this is when I was still kind of in my infancy with voice acting. I thought, oh my god, I don't think I could, do this. And it was just, I didn't have a decent mic at the time or anything. And it just seemed so immense and so professional that it was just very intimidating. It was very exciting to see where it was going, but yeah, I didn't have the nerve to even try an audition for that. I wish, looking back at it now, especially, hearing about it and I wish I would have done that because I love it so much. Even though we just had the one episode, it was well, beautiful.
It's funny you say that because and I think a lot of people think the same way. Even I was, I had heard about you,
Ooh,
and it was almost the same feeling. It was like, oh, if I ask him, there's no way in hell he's going to do it. He's way bigger. I mean, he is way bigger than this project, and it's just like, but that's the mentality. I'm just saying that you think that way. I think that way. There's tons of people on YouTube who do that, who think that way.
And then they never end up working together because they're both afraid of each other and don't have the
it's a common misconception. You have to, I would just say, I'll just go for it. All I can say is no. All I can say is no. And if you get a no, then you move on, but you might get a yes, so you don't know.
Stay up all night and cry about it.
I know you could, yeah. But
you eat a bag of chocolate or something, feel better about yourself. But I'm just saying that's one way of doing it. But you're right, you could just just move on. But yeah, I'm trying to remember the first time I got to work with you or talk with you. I know I met you through, I think, Drag 23 and Era the Guardian, because they had worked on a lot of the same projects. And I don't remember, like I say, getting to know people. It just seems like the more you talk with them and work with them, it just seems like, wow, it feels like we've been doing this forever. When in reality, it's only been just like a few years, and yet it just feels like it's been so much longer than that. And I feel that way with so many people on here that you've gotten to know over the course of just a few months or even a year or so, and it feels like so much longer than that, just because you have so much to relate to and just sharing the same passions and stuff. And just looking ahead at the future, I can't imagine where it's going to take us next.
Hopefully somewhere good.
I would say thumbs up to that. Yes, definitely. 2 thumbs way up to that idea. But yes, this has been our kind of interview / little looking back on the memories of voice acting and such, and looking back on your history of how you became Saberclawproductions. So I thank everybody for listening to it, and if you're still conscious, then I applaud you. Yay!
Yay! You made it to the end!
But thanks everybody for listening. This is Bloodstainedfur.
It's Saberclaw.
And we're signing off. See you later. Have a good day.
Bye-bye!